Hi everyone, this is Joe with Big Tree Solutions, and today I'm going to go over some upgrades we made to the reporting, more specifically the driver cash out and the daily report. So the first thing we'll go over is the driver cash out, and let's start at the top here. As always, you can select all orders, which will then select all orders under that driver. You can then mark all orders as reconciled. So instead of saying paid now, we're calling these reconciled. Then you can separately as well mark tips as paid, mark commission as paid, mark credits/charges as reconciled, and then these other two options are where whatever you check off, so whatever lines you check off here, it would mark them all paid and reconciled or undo all. And just to be clear on that, what that means is if you click this, click line 1 and mark all paid and reconciled, you'll see it's going to take care of marking all this line paid and reconciled. And then same thing, if you undo all, it's going to undo what I just did. So let's go ahead and kind of go over this real quickly. So the big difference now is before, when you were running these reports, you notice down at the bottom you would have everything that was taken. So the system was using more of an accrual accounting system to where whatever was owed to the driver was being considered paid out, and there was really no draw or nothing to show you. So we've changed that up and said total cash from orders. Here's a credit that we owe, which is here. Total cash due from driver, of course, because they're keeping that credit. Reconciled or paid. So at this point, we haven't reconciled anything, so nothing's been paid. And then the total balance due to the RDS, which is $147.89. Again, total driver earnings $56, which is an addition of these two lines right here. We did not consider credits and charges as income or earnings. We consider that as a payback for something. And also, just to be clear, you'll notice that this 4610 includes the cash tip. So if the cash tip was entered, it would be included here. Now let's jump over to the daily report and make sure it's up to date. So we're going to go down here and we're going to look. You'll notice that in the past, your cash flow, which basically shows the cash that's coming through your RDS on that specific time, it's showing that you have cash of 1555 and that your net cash is also 1555. Now in the past, because everything was being considered as paid that night, even if it wasn't being paid, you would have these driver payments reduced and you would have to do the math yourself. So now this is going to actually feed off of the driver cash out. So let's go ahead and run this. So what I'm going to do is the driver is going to come in. He's going to give me, let's say he gives all of his money to me when I'm cashing him out. So I'm going to select all orders and I'm going to mark all as paid and reconciled. So now you'll see this line, it drops a little bit because it's adding some information in here. So now that he had his total cash from orders, less his cash tips, less his credit card tips, less his driver commission, less his driver credits, he actually only owed us $91.29. So he paid us $91.29. And because we marked that we paid everything, which means we gave him his tips and commission out of that money, his driver earnings being $56.60, we paid him that $56.60, and now we owe him $0. So let's go back over to the daily summary, and you'll see here the driver payments still $0. But if I run this report, now it's going to update, and it's saying that I've actually paid out the driver $50.95. So that's changed my net cash, or my cash drop. So now let's go back to this, and you'll see this could be a little confusing because you're saying, well, we paid this driver $56.60, and on this report it's saying, we only paid $50.95. So the reason it's showing that is because the total tips, although they have $46, $10 of that is actually not coming from the house money. It's coming from a cash tip. So you never had that, and it would not be considered on your cash flow. So really what this is your credit card, the credit card tips you paid him, the commission you paid him, and the $5 that you paid him. And that's what's reflecting in that $50 on the daily summary. So then the last thing I just want to show you all real quick before I get into some details is you can select all orders, and let's say you're not sure if this was correct and you want to start all over, you can undo all. It's going to make sure. Yes, and now you'll see it's gone back to nothing's been done. So now let's go a little more into detail. So let's say, for instance, that what you do is you pay your drivers their commission on the night that they check out, and you pay their tips on checks in the future. So the first thing we're going to do is select all orders. We're going to mark commission as paid, and we'll see this is going to change. So here we go. Commission is changed, and now they only owe the total cash due from driver $137.39, total reconciled 10, total balance due to the RDS is $147. So basically it's now reduced, from total cash down here. And you know what? Let's go ahead and get rid of this credit here. So we're going to go ahead and mark that credit as reconciled. So now that we've gone ahead and reduced that, you'll see that we still have our balance due, but we've also paid off that driver commission. Let's go ahead and we say, all right, for all cash orders, we're not going to keep any of the tips from cash orders, so we're going to mark these cash orders and mark those tips as paid because they're going to keep those. All right, so now you'll see that it's added here that total driver earnings are $56. We've paid them $21.15. Total owed to driver is $35.45. So, really the last thing we need to do here is reconcile the rest of the cash or the money owed. So what we're going to do is go ahead and select all orders, and we're going to mark all orders as reconciled here. So you'll see now that we've marked the orders as reconciled, it's basically gone ahead and done the math for us and showed us that the driver owed us $126. He's now paid $126, and he owes the RDS $0, and that the total driver earnings are $56.60. Total paid by the RDS was $21.15. Total owed to the driver is $35.45. And of course, this will all reflect. So let's go and update our daily report, and you'll see here driver payments $15.50. And again, the reason for that is it's only showing the driver commission and this credit that we added, because this cash tip was never part of your money. So again, we hope this is very helpful to you. If you all have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.